Sunday morning in Darwin's northern suburbs. The crowds pour in for their fresh greens and laksa, and a small army of purple volunteers is hard at work. With the territory election approaching, this independent candidate is selling a message of change.
Imagine if our parliament was our elected representatives sitting down together, having dialogue with the best information we have to make decisions about what's best for the Northern Territory. And why doesn't that happen?
The former justice worker has been on the ground for months, hoping to snare the safe Labor seat of Johnston.
When we're door knocking or talking to people here at the markets or out at public events, is that they don't trust our current political system. They're not happy with their representatives and they want change across the board. Okay.
Out and about, some voters appear open to new possibilities.
Territorians are not particularly happy with major parties, and I think independents are actually really, really important for parliamentary process.
Ultimately, major parties probably have the advantage, but it doesn't mean that you don't, vote for someone that you believe in.
The cost of living is terrible, and security is also terrible, so maybe we need to change.
At the last federal election in 2022, there was a movement against the two major parties. Voters in Sydney, Melbourne and Perth sent a wave of teal independents to Canberra on platforms of integrity and climate action.
It's wonderful to have you all here.
In the lead-up to this NT election campaign, kitchen table conversations have been taking place. Grassroots volunteers connected to the rise of independence.
86% of the 249 people we spoke to said that they didn't feel represented, and so we can see that politicians are meeting with different people. It's just that they're not meeting with constituents.
40 kilometres south of Darwin, another very different independent candidate is campaigning to retain the seat of Goyder.
I think at times the major parties lose sight of the big picture. You're there to make good laws for good governance in the territory.
Kezia Purick is the longest-serving member of NT Parliament, a Conservative crossbencher who quit the scandal-plagued Country Liberal Party in 2015. Now retiring, Miss Purick is coaching her successor on how to keep the seat independent.
Just get out and meet people, go to the different events, go to the markets, sit at the shopping centre. And people appreciate that. They don't always agree with you on, key things that are very divisive, like fracking or...
Yep, no one can agree on everything, but, as long as we agree on the majority of things and we work together, we can achieve heaps.
Yeah.
Right now, there are 4 independents in NT Parliament. Miss Purick, Mark Turner in Blaine, Yingia Goyola in Mulka, and Robin Lamley in Araluen. While Labor currently have a majority in the Northern Territory Parliament, after August's election, if the crossbench stays the same or even grows, it could be these independents with a crucial role to play if neither party can reach the 13 seats necessary to govern in their own right. The independents' best chance to break through, one expert suggests, will come from focusing on hyper-local issues.
You can't be in an ivory tower in the Northern Territory. If you're not down on the ground giving people snags and sausages and come down to the park and shake my hand and do this thing, you're not going to get the support that you need on election day.
Both the government and the opposition reject the idea they're not listening to constituents, with just 1 month left to convince voters on which way to turn. Thomas Morgan, ABC News.